Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to our webinar about customer insight and BI using Microsoft Dynamics CRM. We're going to have a very short 30-minute seminar on this one, and we in Storm, obviously, hopefully you know us, we are a Microsoft-focused business technology consultancy company with emphasis on digital enterprise strategies, CRM, enterprise content management, and digital technology application development. We have over 2 decades of experience with clients like Deeper, Keller, CIE, Glambia, Carey Group, AIB, and the likes, and of course our friends at Topaz who are running this seminar today. We have over 100 staff in Galway and Dublin, and we are very excited to have Sharon here to talk about the Topaz CRM project, which is an award-winning project. It won the Best Implementation of Sales Technology Award in 2015 for the Irish Sales Championships Award. So it's a good recognition of what we were doing. So we'll keep this short and hand over to Sharon in a second. You're all on mute at the moment. If you have any issues with the sound and the vision, just send us a chat. There's an option there on the right-hand side. If you have any questions, we can leave it until the end and answer some questions for people who would like to do that. Or you can send us a little message on the chat. And also, I will reach out to each of you individually over the coming few days, if that's okay. But without further ado, I want to hand over to Sharon Butler, who is the CRM project manager for this particular project in Topaz, and she's also the Topaz Fuel Card Sales Account Manager. So Sharon, over to you.
Good morning, everybody, and thanks for joining us today. Delighted to be here just to kind of run through the Topaz story so far. Just in terms of where we started, I suppose we started the CRM journey probably 2 years ago when we first started to talk to Storm, when we decided to partner up with them. Overall, the CRM project was an 8-month project, which we rolled out to 70 of our staff across 11 divisions of our business. I'll go into that in a little bit of detail on the later slide. But for us, it was a really fantastic opportunity for us to look at why we did things and how we did things, and really just to review the processes that had been there for so many years and say, is this the best way we could do them or how we could do things better? One of the main challenges we had is we have 2 separate ERP systems. We have our business is split into 2. We have a retail business and a commercial business. So obviously in the retail side, it's mainly the fuel side of things, and the shops that everybody sees, our garages, we have about 350 nationwide. And on the commercial side of our business, we have a fuels business, we have a lubricants business, and we also have fuel card. So the real issue we had to begin with, which was kind of unique from everybody else, was we have a system, SAP, which is managed from our office in Clonskee, which we manage all of our fuels and lubricants on, and then separately from the UK, we have outsourced our fuel cards. So the real problem we had was we never really had a vision of both systems. We would have common customers across both of them, but not really a single view of them. Regarding data, which was one of the main issues we also had, was we had data everywhere, to be perfectly honest. We had legacy systems, we had data held in people's, in diaries, in handhelds, in phones, in people's heads, and we really didn't have all of the customer information held in one separate location. Again, we had no real shared vision of our customer experience and journey because we had so many different systems that things were being logged in. And the real main driver for us was around our sales and sales pipeline. I suppose we did have our retail colleagues on one particular system that they were using similar to a CRM system, but kind of in isolation. And then a lot of our commercial business was all being managed on Excel spreadsheets. And again, with customer issues, they were being handled on spreadsheets and sometimes by outsourced partners. So again, it was getting that single view that was really important to us. And we felt we were losing vital customer information because it wasn't held centrally. Sorry guys, we're moving on with the next slide. Just in terms then of the scope of the project, I just thought it would be easy to put up one slide. So basically with CRM at the center of everything, and that's sort of from a project management point of view, I started looking at the customer being centered to everything. we had 5 individual sales teams. So our company owned and our dealer would be part of the retail part of our business. And then we would have our fuels team for sales, we'd have our fuel card team and our lubricants. We also decided to take our operations department and order capture into it in terms of the day-to-day issues that we were having, any issues with deliveries, customer feedback, be it good or bad. Customer service cases could vary from anything happening in our retail site again to issues on the commercial side. All of our marketing and both communication. And the 2 key pieces which originally we hadn't actually decided in the original scope, we hadn't decided to put in our third-party partners. We have a fuel card centre in Galway and we have a call centre in Limerick for payback. But when I initially looked at it, I thought it would be really worthwhile to include them in the initial scope, which was a really, really good win for us. Then in terms of, I guess, post-CRM, the advantages of implementing a CRM project, again, I said it took an 8-month project from start to finish, from design to when we went live last May. But we now have one single view of our entire business in terms of account hierarchy, and I'll explain that a little bit later on a later slide. From a cross-functional point of view, from retail and commercial, it has improved sort of our upselling and also, really looking at what are the cross-selling opportunities. So, for example, if a customer that I visit as a fuel card customer, are they also buying, for example, bulk fuels, or are they buying lubricants? And it's about passing the lead over then to our colleagues. We now have a very simple, efficient reporting process at a touch of a button. Again, I'll show you some of the reports that I did pull, in a matter of minutes in later slides, just to show you the ease and how you can report from a sort of global to a granular level. We're now managing all of our customer communication, so any touch points with the customer are now managed all in one place. And the real win for us is we now have a 100% completely transparent sales pipeline. So in terms of forecasting, we can look at a company-wide level. So, what do we have in the system for both retail and for commercial? But we're also able to drill down at every single level. So we can look at it, say, just for fuels. We can look at it just for lubricants. We can break it down to look at the customer level who we're hoping to sign up. We can break it down again by salesperson. So, it's really, really good for driving sales meetings, and our sales directors now are using it as a daily tool to, tie in with the salespeople as in where they actually are with particular opportunities or meetings and so on and so forth. So the whole global to granular level and the ease that we can do that with has been a massive win for us. So just in terms of sort of numbers, I guess, we're currently working on well over 500 open opportunities across the entire business for Topaz. But just to give you an idea of, since we went live in May of last year, we've 400 plus 1 opportunities in CRM alone. In terms of cases, now I say cases, that's the likes of, a number of queries coming into our call centre in Limerick. Also the call centre, so we've logged about 32,500 cases centrally in CRM. And just again, I put this number up in terms of the sheer number of activities. So that's inbound, outbound phone calls to customers. We have an Outlook integration piece that we can integrate all of our emails into CRM, creating simple tasks like follow-up phone calls to customers. And again, there's Outlook integration. So if a sales account manager has a meeting with a particular potential client or an existing client, again, it's all logged and it all tracks in CRM in terms of that. So just looking at the figures, it's hard to exactly quantify, but we would safely say with the implementation of CRM that we would have seen a 5 to 10% reduction in sales min costs and time. And not even just saying the number, it's just the convenience of having everything centrally in the system. Like as an account manager myself, like before I go into a meeting, I can just quickly, go into the customer account and just have a look and say, look, has there been any issues over the last few weeks in terms of operations, or, has been speaking to any of my other colleagues in terms of missing invoices, simple things. But when you go into the customer, you're fully informed and you know what's going on. And then I guess in terms of sales, again, it's hard to quantify, but the fact that we're now using CRM to upsell and to cross-sell, we reckon that on CRM alone, it's brought in an additional 5% in revenue in our sales. Just touching again, I'll just do this very quickly in terms of the hierarchy of the account. If you look at the middle level, level 2, we decided within the design process of the system that we would bring in the SAP account or the fuel card account at level 2. But then at level 3, you could see the individual business line, be it that it's fuel card or lubricants. But the important part for us was we can now link the customer at a parent level at level 1, and we can see the value of that customer in terms of litres and in terms of revenue and what it's bringing in. So again, in certain accounts, we've grouped certain accounts, say for example, that would have an awful lot of subsidiaries or companies. We can have 15 or 20 companies linking into one parent. And again, from a senior management point of view, they can really review what companies are worth to us. Just again, I thought I'd put this up in terms of numbers, and some of the things that surprised us, I guess, were around the call centres, the sheer number of calls that they're taking. But if you take the fuel card team in Galway alone, like we've logged almost 50,000 activities. And again, we wouldn't have really had any vision of that or the loyalty, for example. So at least now, when sales account managers are going in, they're able to view all of that data. And just touching again, and these are just, live Topaz reports. It's just to really show you the ease. Like when I say I pulled this together within 5 minutes on Monday or Tuesday for the guys, it's so simple to report in terms of dashboard. So at a glance, we can see, how many cases we've had for loyalty since go live. You can simply go in and do an advanced find and then limit it to, I want to see what's for the last week. I want to see what's for the last month, the last 3 months for a particular, employee, for a particular type of query. So again, for ease of reporting, it's been absolutely great. And for us then, the massive win has been around centralising our sales pipeline. So just so you can see, there is a number of euro figures. We've taken out the actual physical data, but that information would normally be there. But just if you look at the left-hand side, you can now see there's 4 steps of the process. We have 25% where a lead is qualified, 50% where you're developing the lead, be it that you're meeting with the customer, talking to them on the phone, trying to get meetings with them. 90% is where we're actually proposing. We've met the customer, we've put an actual proposal together for them. And then 100% is where we're moving on and we're signing contracts or awaiting for the account to be set up. So we sort of sat back at the very, very beginning and really reviewed how we did things and tried to simplify them as much as we can. But just the slide that's on the left-hand side, you'll see there at a glance, that's our overview of what's in the total Topaz sales pipeline in terms of commercial and retail. And on any slice of that triangle, you could, for example, click on the 50% purple section of the Topaz sales, and then on your left-hand side, it brings up the details. So again, you can look at it at global level, or then if somebody wants to drill down into a particular opportunity or look at the higher opportunities we're currently working on, it's so simple to do that. And just for ease then, on the middle and the other side of this, I've just put down, that's the view of our commercial sales and our retail sales pipeline. So again, all of those reports can be set up so simply. They can be shared with your colleagues, and it's a really fantastic system to use. And again, just to give you an overview, this is an example of our commercial sales pipeline. So again, at a glance, the sales director can see where we are in terms of fuel, where we are in terms of lubricants, where we are in terms of fuel card. And again, it's really good for driving sales meetings and discussions at quarterly reviews and so on and so forth. And again, just finally then on the pipeline, I've probably included quite a few of them, but it's just to show you the ease. Again, this is at account manager level within different divisions of the business. So again, if you're having a discussion with your manager, and also from your own point of view as an account manager, it's so simple to manage your pipeline on a day-to-day basis. And just in terms, we don't like losing opportunities, but it does happen. So again, we can analyze that. For example, if we lose it to a competitor on price, again, post that we can go in and we can drill into the opportunity and see the reason for it. And again, we have a one pipeline at 100%. So again, we can see the number of that people are winning at either a business level or an individual level. So I guess just after go live, I suppose for Topaz, the whole CRM project, we did a lot of communication around it to our staff. We involved everybody from the startup, to be perfectly honest with you, in the design phase, and gave everyone an opportunity. We had 10 different workshops, half-day sessions, and we gave everybody the opportunity. But from a point of view for us, it was really a new way of working. Our customer activity is now all held in one location. As I said, the ease of reporting, it is so simple to pull reports together at a moment's notice. It's not like you have to send someone off for 3 hours to pull a report for you. It's so easy to pull it down once you have the design phase really bottomed out and you know exactly what you're going to be looking for. It helps us to make really informed decisions about our customers, like as I said, maybe if it's lost customers, what we can do better next time, where we're getting the wins. Much better customer satisfaction in terms of, reply time and SLAs and getting back to customers. We have no manual spreadsheets anymore, less emails and phone calls before customer visits because all of the information is held in one central location. Really no loss of knowledge, like if staff are leaving, they're not leaving with knowledge of customers and intel that, you really need to know. So again, once people are logging into CRM, it's going to be there forever and a day, and also the improved revenue on sales. And then I guess I just said I would touch finally on the learning for us. If any of you guys are thinking of either, implementing a CRM or starting the journey, one of the things I probably underestimated at the very beginning was around the data integrity. Because we were pulling data from so many systems, it was a big job in terms of cleanup and bringing data into the system so everything was 100% right on day one. As I touched on earlier, we really involved all of our staff in the design phase so they could input how CRM could help because in their day-to-day roles. So as I said, we had, I think, 11 half-day workshops where we showed people the Microsoft Dynamics system and really adapted it for our business then, and the guys were great at working that through with us. We appointed super users from each business as focal points. So for every one of the divisions I showed you earlier in terms of one of the sales team from Fuel Card, one of the sales team from our operations team, we appointed one person who was solely responsible for coming to regular meetings and keeping everybody informed, working issues. And that's really vital that you have a team that are working alongside you because it's impossible to do it all on your own. In terms of overcoming complex legacy systems, I think as a large company, we had an awful lot of systems in terms of, they were there for very good reason, but it was trying to really pull all of that together into one CRM system. One of the things we did as well, obviously we'd involved everybody at the beginning, but when we were kind of 6 weeks prior to go live, we started a weekly communication, just kind of a very simple one-page PDF, sending out to staff, putting posters up around the building so people knew it was coming. And it kind of just raised a lot of, awareness and questions and, created a bit of an atmosphere as well, which was great. And just really, I think, a little bit of advice for the project manager yourself. You're going to need support from senior management. It's key because post go live, the CRM project is a business-led tool. You're not going to be there day in, day out. It needs to be a tool that's going to work for the company, and you need to have senior management. So with that in mind, we had a steering group that was headed up by myself, but then we had our sales director, we had our IT involved, we had marketing involved, and we had our retail manager. So again, we met with them regularly. And again, you really need implementation, and user adoption is absolutely a huge, huge role. So it's really important that everybody is involved and everybody understands the importance of the reasons you're putting in the system, number one, and then to see the advantages of having it. So that's really me. It's been a great experience working with Storm, so I'll hand back maybe to Richard now.
That's great, Sharon. Thanks very much. It was really, really informative, and it's great to see how easy it was to pull that data from Microsoft Dynamics. What I'm going to do now is going to hand over to Rory Noon, who is our Microsoft BI guru, I would call him, and he's going to do a short presentation on the new Power BI from Microsoft, which is a reporting and dashboarding tool that can sit on top of CRM as standard, and but can also run other data queries for you. So there we go. 1 second, please.
Thanks, Richard. I think that's a little unfair. I think I'm one of Storm's many BI gurus. I just want to give you a quick overview of Power BI, which is a very exciting tool from Microsoft, and it's one that's changing the very definition of what business intelligence is and what its role is. Having a BI capability in your organization used to be a nice to have, something for larger enterprises that had a BI development team, but the landscape is changing. BI is now a must-have in order to maintain a competitive edge. BI teams used to control the flow of data back to the business so that the business could generate what are called actionable insights. So a regular example would be an online sales company who might leave aside website hits because they're not actionable for analysis purposes. But says who? With Power BI, the data will tell the business users directly what is actionable and what isn't. BI is now all about making data accessible to business users. Accessible so that they can explore their data, accessible so that they can get very familiar with their data. What has changed is that decision of what is and what isn't actionable data is now firmly in the hands of the business users. And with a tool like Power BI, IT teams can now focus on delivering high quality data while the business user becomes empowered to explore their own data and to generate their own insights from it. So this is a real self-service technology, and in more ways than one. Now I have Power BI open on the screen, and it's prompting me to get data, but I'm not going to get data because I already have some. So I'm going to click on my workspace on the top left, and that brings me into my dashboard. So this is a sample dashboard from a software company that has two sales channels, direct and with partner. Towards the top, you can see a total revenue figure of 2 billion, and just underneath that, you can see a factored revenue value, which is a weighted revenue value based on what stage of the sales cycle the sale is in. And this is a value and a calculation, I suppose, that's calculated within the Power BI model. You can see to the right a typical CRM funnel chart showing the number of opportunities in the different sales stages. You can see to the left of that a pie chart, which is a breakdown of the number of opportunities by the different sales regions, geographic regions. And to the left of that again, this black and green chart, you see the revenue by sales stage and whether it's partner driven or direct. So you've got an awful lot of information in this dashboard, but you can go a lot further than this. If I click on any of these items in the dashboard, it will open up a report. And this is a fully interactive location where I can explore my data. If I click on anything on this page, it will automatically filter everything else in this report so that I can see at a glance and very quickly what my numbers are. And you can see even those numbers at the bottom left, like factored revenue, opportunity count, are changing with each time I filter something. But we can go a step further than that. If I click up here at the top, there's an edit report option. So I'm going to click on that, and that will give me a whole suite of other options. So I can take this report, for example, the revenue by sales stage, and I'm going to, let's say I wanted to examine the opportunities that are in the finalized stage. I can just take from my entities on the right-hand side the opportunity name, and then I'm going to just drill down into finalize, and that will automatically show me what opportunities are in that finalized stage, whether they're partner driven or direct, and what the revenue is. Now we can just take this and maybe sort it by revenue, might be a little bit clearer, and we can pin this back to the dashboard that we were looking at originally. So that's pinned. Let me go back into my dashboard. I won't save these items. And on the bottom, we should have that new visualization that I just entered. And there it is. Now we can take this, we can drag it up front and center if we consider it important. And then we can take this dashboard and we have the option to share it with other members of our team and other members of our organization. So it's a tremendously powerful tool, but this is another little feature of Power BI, the ability to ask questions in plain English against your data. So if I say opportunity count by product goals, example, Power BI will automatically decide what is the best visualization for this. So in this case, we have the total number of opportunities by product code. I can take this again. I can even use the GUI to examine this further. I can go into accounts, let's say. I can add in region. That'll break it down further by region. I mightn't like how that's displayed, so let me change this into a different type of visualization. I'll change it into a stacked column chart. And you can get a sense of this, how powerful visualization is when it comes to understanding your data. You can instantly see here how a particular product is performing much better in one region versus another region and so on. And again, I can just take this visualization and pin it straight to my dashboard again. So, how do you get your CRM data into Power BI? So it's a very simple scenario to bring your dynamic CRM data into Power BI. If you go into the CRM very quickly, I'll just show you where this is. If you go to your settings, customizations, there is a web service is specified in dynamic CRM telling you where you can go to pick up your data for Power BI. So in developer resources on the bottom, you will have a web service link. So I can just copy this. I'm going to go back into Power BI. I'm going to go to Get Data. And when in here, I'm going to choose Services. So I'm going to Get under Services. And when I click Get, you get a whole suite of options of sources that you can pull data from. Now, what Microsoft have provided here is a suite of ready-made analytical models that you can plug into straight away to start analyzing your data. So in the case of CRM, there is what's called a content pack for Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So I'm just going to click on that. Give me the option to connect. And so in here, it should give me the option to enter that web service, OData web service, and off I go. And once I do that, and it just takes a few minutes for that particular sample data, it will automatically bring me my CRM data into a ready-made model. And this is what it looks like in this case. This is a different dashboard with different data coming from an actual CRM system. And again, I've got exactly the same functionality that I had before. So for example, I can say, give me the top 10 accounts by revenue, and Power BI should run this and give me a graph of what it thinks is the best way to visualize that information. It's not coming up right now. But when it does, I can just take it and I can pin it back even to that dashboard that I had created already. There's a lag here. So let's just do that. There you go. I'm just going to pin it. And I can pin it to that dashboard that I was using already, which is the opportunity analysis sample. So I'm just going to pin. Now what's even more, I suppose, important is that's the data that just pulled from CRM. I can click in here and I can schedule a refresh. So this is important. So I can just go in here and say, listen, I want my data refreshed in here from my live CRM system, and you can refresh it up to every 30 minutes. So what is so good about this and about Power BI? Well, it's just so accessible. It's also so usable. This is a tool that's extremely fast. It's powered by analysis services in the cloud, so that when the business filter a report to get results immediately, even with hundreds of millions of rows. So this is a tool that invites the business user to explore their data. Each user can have their own workspace to maintain reports for themselves, or they can share the dashboards with others for collaboration. So with Power BI, the business user can decide what to bring in for analysis and what to ignore. A business user might need to discover the usefulness of website hits, So I'd like to just conclude to say that you can visit powerbi.com today and start a free trial, and I definitely would encourage you to do so.
Obviously, Rory, at the moment we're looking at the pre-made CRM template, but there's a way as well to develop your own data sets and reporting elements, is there?
Yes, absolutely, yeah. So
you customize to every customer's specific needs.
Exactly. Exactly. So you can these models can be created in Microsoft Excel, or they could be created in a desktop tool that you can download from powerbi.com called Power BI Desktop. You can create those models and deploy them. So begin with your CRM model. You can edit that in Excel. And I can show you in Excel. This is the model for for the first dashboard that we looked at, and you can see your entities. You can come in here. You can, for example, everything was in dollars there. We could go into our table here. We could change the currency from revenue to dollars to revenue, and we could post this model back up again. You can change that calculation for factored revenue, post it back up again. So you've got complete control over your model. Yeah.
Listen, thanks very much, Rory. It's been very, 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 very interesting. Thanks very much. Guys, there were one or two questions asked before, so we're at the end of the general session, but by all means, feel free to hang around. I will open up the microphones. We'll unmute everybody. There's quite a few people online still, so if you have questions for either Sharon or Rory or myself about these things, let's have a quick chat. I'll go back to myself here for a second anymore, and I will open up the mute button so you can talk. Don't talk all at the same time because it's going to be a mess. And there we go. Mute all, unmute all. How do I do that? There we go, one by one. Let me see. While I do this, you see my contact details there. If you have any individual questions, please send me or call me on my mobile. I'm not sure if this is going to work. Let me see. Everybody's unmuted now. Can anybody have any questions at this stage, or shall we close it off? There was one particular question about that came up that somebody asked to Sharon about were there any difficulties with the adoption of implementing CRM?
Yeah.
Maybe Sharon, you may want to.
I guess it's a journey for everybody, and obviously with implementing it to 70 people, we went with the big bang approach. So as much as we involved everybody in the design process, and again, we had obviously a huge amount of internal training and communication, there was a little, not necessarily pushback. I think people were probably a little bit afraid of the system because it wasn't how they did things before. But you will find that, you know, I think you need to kind of, not coax is the wrong word, there's obviously it's the way things are being done going forward, but there may be some training with certain people to help, you know, that they could ask the questions they wanted to in those sessions. But you'll find over time, once people start to use it, they really see the advantage. So, you know, the user adoption was one of the issues, but again, it's the way we do our business now, so that's where we're at with it.
Okay, there's another question here from Kira. Let me just see if the first one was the CRM solution cloud with SAP hosted.
I'd want to just double check that, but as far as I know, it's hosted on an internal server server with Topaz.
Yeah. Was it Topaz has an on-premise CRM solution? The Power BI solution we just shown here was in the cloud. So, and they're actually running CRM 2013 Service Pack 2, in case you really want to know what version they're on. So there's a newer version available at the moment, 2015, and 2016 actually will be available before the year end. So we keep on going, and there's loads of weird and wonderful, fantastic new features there. So I hope that answers that question. Are there any other questions out there, people? I don't think so. Listen, thank you very, very much for your time. I hope it has been interesting. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you, Rory. Thanks everybody for spending 30 minutes with us. If there's any specific questions, my contact details are up there. By all means, reach out. I'll try to reach out to yourselves as well if you are available in the coming few days as well. Have a great day. Thanks very much.
Thank you.